Individuals come under two types of taxation. One is income tax, the other is capital gains tax. Your income or your gains from your investments will be listed under one of these two types of taxation. Which tax is beneficial for you? Is there an advantage in having one over the other? Is there a choice which is available for you? All the aspects of income tax and the capital gains tax, what is beneficial to you, I am going to discuss in this episode. This is NRI Money Clinic for you, and I am Dr. Chandrakant Bhatt, investment consultant and a financial planner.
NRI Money Clinic. No hype, just the right advice.
When you have income in a year and when you have to file tax returns, you have to file the tax return and your income of that particular year will be categorized under income tax or it will get categorized under capital gains tax. What is income tax and what is capital gains tax? Income tax is something which is treated as your regular income of the year. What headings come under this? For example, if you are getting dividends, the dividends will come under income tax. If you have resident fixed deposits or if you have deposits which are made through your NRO accounts, the interest that you get from these bank accounts will be treated as your income. If you are having properties and if you are generating rent from that, these will also come under the income tax. So this will be treated as your income tax for that particular year. Now let us look at the contrast of this. Now suppose if you have invested in the debt funds of the mutual funds, or if you have invested in the equity funds of the mutual funds, or if you have invested in the stocks, or if you have invested in the properties, the gains that you make from this will come under capital gains tax, and it's an entirely different set of taxation. There is classic difference between these two types of taxes. Let us look all the details that you need to know so that you will be able to take a proper decision when you choose your investment avenues. Now first let us look at the income tax. Now in case of income tax, it follows a slab rate. When you have lower income, you have exemption limits, then you will have lower slabs, then it will climb up and it will stabilize at the highest slab, which is close to about 1/3 of your income. So as your income rises, you are liable to pay more and more percentage of taxes. There is not much of an escape route which is available for you. Yes, government has given some exemptions for you in the form of section 80C, in the form of section 80D, various schemes and for various category of people. But that's primarily aimed at lower strata of the society. But if you are a person who is having sizable income, then if this income is categorized under income tax as per the law, then you will be paying more and more taxes as your income rises. So this is what we have to keep it in mind. Contrast to income tax, the capital gains tax follows a different approach. In case of capital gains tax, you don't have a slab system. Every person who comes under a capital gains tax pays a fixed amount of taxation. In case of income tax, I said it moves from exemption limit up to the highest tax bracket. Whereas in case of a capital gains tax, irrespective of your capital gains, the total amount, the slab rate will apply the same thing to every individual, whether you belong to lower strata of the society or you are a person with highest income, the capital gains tax percentage remains the same. There is another advantage with the capital gains tax. That advantage is, in case of income tax, the highest slab is in the range of around 30%. Whereas in case of capital gains tax, the tax percentage that you pay, it could be just around 10% or could be around 20%. It will never be same as that of an income tax. The slab rate is also lower in case of capital gains tax. There is one another classic difference between an income tax and a capital gains tax. Income tax is immediate. Capital gains tax is a deferred taxation. Let me explain this. Now let's assume that you have kept a crore of rupee in the bank as a fixed deposit. And if this fixed deposit is earning you 7% interest rate, which means you have earned 7 lakh rupees as the interest income. Now you would have drawn this income or you would have allowed this income to accrue in your FD. But while filing tax return, this 7 lakh rupees will be treated as your income, and if you are coming under the highest tax slab, let's say 30%, then 30% of this 7 lakhs has to be paid by you. Whether you have drawn this money or not, whether you have realized this or not, you are liable to pay the income tax. It has to be paid then and there itself in that particular year itself. Whereas in case of a capital gains tax, it is not immediate. It is not for that year. You pay capital gains tax when you realize the capital gains. Let us say that you have put this 1 crore this year in a debt fund of a mutual fund. And for next 10 years, you are not touching this money at all. And by virtue of growth, it became 2 crores. Only when you sell your investment, that is the time you have to pay the capital gains tax. For all the 10 years that you have kept this money, you are not liable to pay any tax during those 10 years. Whereas in case of an income tax, you have to pay your taxes that year itself. This has multiple advantages. Now, as I said, in case of 1 crore FD, out of the 7 lakhs, if you are paying, let's say 30% as the taxes, that amount is gone. It will not have the power of compounding. Whereas if you have kept it in the debt fund of the mutual fund, because it is a deferred taxation, all the gains that has been made in that particular year will grow further in a compounded fashion. For as long as you do not touch this money, could be 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, you are not liable to pay any taxes. You pay taxes when you realize the gains. That means when you sell your investment, that is the time you pay the applicable taxes. One another difference between income tax and the capital gains tax could be, capital gains tax can come to you with an indexation benefit, which means you have invested, let's say, 1 crore of rupee this year, and you keep this for next 10 years, and the inflation pushes up the cost of money over the 10 years. So the indexation will take into account what has been the inflation for the next 10 years or till the time when you sell these investments, and you are liable to pay taxes only for the gains that you have made post this indexation. So indexation benefit is a great tool for you to save taxes. Whereas in case of an income tax, it does not take into account the cost of money or the cost of inflation during a period of investment. You have gained so much of an interest, you have so much of an income, and you have to pay at the applicable slab rate which is applicable to you. There are other benefits with capital gains tax as well. Capital gains tax can also come to you with certain types of exemptions. For example, in case of equity mutual funds, every year up to 1 lakh of rupee gains that you make is exempted from capital gains tax. For example, if you have made 2 lakhs as the capital gains during one particular year out of your equity investment, the first 1 lakh is exempted. You pay taxes only on the rest of the gains that you have made at 10% rate. So you have an exemption and you have lower slab rate. Both benefits are available to you. If you are a person who has invested in the debt funds of the mutual fund, there also I said you have an indexation benefit which is available to you, which makes you pay less taxes. If you are a person who has invested in the properties, when you sell the property at a distant point of time in future, then you have other benefits as well. To avoid the capital gains tax, the government has given you several other avenues. For example, if you have sold a property within a reasonable period of time mandated as per the law, if you buy one another property, you may need not pay the capital gains tax at all. Likewise, government has notified certain instruments where you can park your gains, the capital gains that you have made, into those instruments. Those will also give you the tax break. So there are multiple ways you can reduce your capital gains tax when it comes to the question of property sales as well. So this is the advantage of coming under the capital gains tax. So next time when you want to invest in some instrument, you need to ask this question: what happens to my profits? What happens to my income? Does it come under income tax? Does it come under capital gains tax? If it comes under capital gains tax, it works to your advantage. If it comes under income tax, it could be a disadvantage for you. Dear viewers, if you think the topic that I discussed helped you to understand the concepts of capital gains tax and income tax, please like this video and share it with your friends and relatives. Don't forget to subscribe for the channel and press the bell icon. Thank you very much for watching this episode on NRI Money Clinic. I will be back with you with one more topic very soon.
Press the bell icon for more details and subscribe our channel.